Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a massive report to share with you, especially if you know of a Christian or are a Christian yourself. What I have today is to show you an ancient evil, so to speak, that has been around for a very long time. We know the satanic forces are things working from behind the scenes, and they have been working since day one, since Adam and Eve were in the garden. Well, it seems to be ramping up. Recently, it was put out that Christians are the most persecuted group in this generation, in this century, and that seems to be spiraling out of control. Some of the reports that I have to show you today are going to drop your jaw to the floor. Well, the first one that I want to show you is a report that's surfacing out of www.lifesitenews.com. Now, this is about what is going on in Canada, but it's titled, "Liberals Now Claim That Christian Parents are dangerous. This is an existential threat we cannot ignore." Now, the report was put out November 10th, and it goes on to state that over the past 2 decades, it has slowly dawned on Christians that the implications of same-sex marriage are far greater for those who still believe in the traditional understanding of marriage than even the cynics first thought possible. The politicians, the academics, and the media have reached the collective conclusion that if gay marriage is a civil right, those who oppose it are not simply dissenters holding to a 2,000-year-old tradition, but ugly bigots who deserve to be marginalized for their discriminatory views. Thus, live and let live has turned into you will be forced to participate and approved, starting with bakers, floors, property owners, florists, property owners, and adoption agencies finding themselves to be the target of gay activists who show a shocking ruthlessness in their enthusiasm for prosecuting supported thought crimes. Now, this report further details, and I'm going to kind of summarize it for you, but it talks about a couple in Alberta, Canada, who goes to adopt a child. Well, everything passed, all their records came clear, everything was approved. But when they were inquired about from a social worker, from one of the people involved in the adoption, it wasn't the social worker, it was somebody else, but they were inquired by whoever that person was and asked the question, do you support homosexuality? Do you support gay marriage? When they gave their belief, saying that no, that they believe that it's fully legal, but they don't believe, basically they take the Christian stance, that they don't believe or stand with that particular right. And because of that stance, because of that religious belief, they were denied the ability to adopt a child. Furthermore, they were inquired if the child wanted in the future to explore their sexuality, meaning sex outside of marriage. They were asked their opinion on that, and they said, well, we believe that they should wait until marriage to have those sexual relations. That's another Christian biblical. Well, the couple was also denied for answering like that. Now, let me state this. Whether or not you are a Christian, this should bother everyone. Maybe you have a different political view than someone else. You should have a right to have that view as long as you're not hurting someone, violently abusing someone, or it's not causing anything like that. It is a belief that Christians have had for a very long time, and it's not just Christians who hold to that belief. There's many religions that do. Some of Catholics, not all. I know there's a lot of changes there. Muslims actually believe that. Christians believe that. Multiple other religions, Mormons believe that. So there's many religions. So it really doesn't just stick with Christianity. It's just the belief in that altogether that they are targeting. Well, I stand on the right of you have a right to believe what you want to believe as long as you're not hurting others. And so this message just isn't for the Christians out there, but everyone who holds any belief, who in their right mind, if you want to adopt a child, and look, there's multiple children out there that need adopting, and they are being forced to stay in the system out of a belief of a parent because they have a religious belief. That falls under suppression. That falls under tyranny. If you want to ask my opinion on that, where is the freedom of speech? Where is the freedom of religion to say you can't have a child because you hold this view, but everything else about you pans out? That is why I wanted to show this. And it's not just Christians. Again, you need to remember that if it's one political view, well, they could go after yours. Now, one other thing that I want to show you is on the express.co.uk website, because I want to show you how bad it's getting for Christians out there specifically. And as a Christian, I need to bring light to this. It says, this one's titled Map, 50 Countries Where You Cannot Be a Christian in the year 2017. Now, this was just put out on November 8th. Now, I must tell you that there are millions of Christians around the world who are facing imprisonment, jail time, who are being tortured, who are being put to death just for practicing their faith. This is a common thing. And what I'm going to show you on the screen now is the 50 countries where if you're a Christian, you're not allowed to be a Christian. You're not allowed to practice your faith on some level there. Here's just a few I'm going to name off. We have North Korea, Kenya, Ethiopia, Libya, Iran, Syria, India, Saudi Arabia, China, Turkey, and the list continues to go on. If you want to see that list in full, you can go back and pause the video there. But that's 50 countries that they are specifically targeted. That is huge. And that's from 2017. Now, I also encourage you guys to check out the CPC list. What that is the countries of particular concern list. Now, I'm not going to get into it today, but I'll leave a link below in which the United States of America monitors religious persecution all throughout the world. And they've got a list of some of the worst countries in the nation to be a Christian. And among that list on the CPC list are a lot of those countries that you saw. Pretty much Muslim dominant countries, you can guarantee that you're not allowed to be a Christian and observe some of the worst Christian persecution. Why? Because we have radical Islam in multiple countries that practice the Muslim faith there, or radical Islam. So that's something to think about also. Now, let's also take into consideration all the things that have been happening with bakers being forced to make cake. But when the tables are turned, there is no forcing of that, right? But not only that, let's also take into account what happened recently in Texas, in Sutherland Springs there, where people were shot up for their faith, for their Christian faith. The guy was a known atheist, and yes, he has some ties to the church, but to take out crowds of more conservative people, that's another red flag. And now there's a lot of people who are on edge as a result. So just a heads up there. And again, Christians are on label the most persecuted group in this century. So I encourage you guys to check that out as well. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on all of that. Please don't forget to check out my partner at Noble Gold Investments and get your free ebook. You just fill out the information and it'll send you a free copy of this ebook. It's awesome, but government lies exposed as far as inflation is concerned, but it's free for you guys. So check that out. And also, make sure you have tangible gold and silver. You never know when you're going to need that kind of stuff, and it's going to hold its value. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to my vlog channel, my backup channel. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.